Chinese suppliers, specifically the retail suppliers, like it's next level. They understand the value of the customer. They understand that it's not a like transaction, it's a relationship. They always invest upfront. So like I really admire that about the customer experience that I had there. Like, and in the restaurants, it also shows because like it's always upfront, like value delivery, and then only then there is some kind of payment.
One of the most important facets of any business is customer service. In business, you are not only selling a product or a service, but an experience. Providing exceptional customer service and developing real relationships with your clients means increased sales, retain customers, new customers via word of mouth, and a positive reputation. You're listening to the Focus on Customer Experience podcast. Benjamin Del Grosso gives you the ins and outs of one of the most underlooked aspects in business today. Improve your customer service and watch your business skyrocket. 2, 1. Now, here's your host, Benjamin Del Grosso.
Hello and welcome to the show. Today we have Irina. She joins us from Bulgaria, so a little bit of different time zones than what we're used to. But Irina, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Benjamin. So I know that my surname is unpronounceable for most English speakers. So like it's Poddubnaia. Yeah. So there are a lot of letters. I usually just introduce myself like as Irina P and dot. That's all. I'm a founder of TrackMage. We are helping e-commerce store owners with shipment tracking and providing better customer experience. So like when it comes to my location, like I travel the world a lot. So I used to live in China for 2.5 years. We had a fulfillment center there. So that's how I get into the whole e-commerce game and just realize like how we can make the world a better place with providing better experience for the customers, because we noticed like there was a real need. And then now I live in Bulgaria for the last 6 years, and like it's a very, very awesome country to be in the summer at least, because we have the sea and all the nightlife just like in the hands reach. So yeah, it's almost like Miami, but not in the US, I would say.
But not in the US.
Yeah. Yes. All right.
Well, they are on the water, right? So.
Right.
Nice. So you said you're in the fulfillment space. You know how like Amazon does fulfillment centers, right? Yeah. Is it like an Amazon fulfillment center, or is it like your own kind of fulfillment, shipping and receiving kind of warehouse for other clients or other people's businesses?
Well, actually, we're more of a like high level system where we act as a hub for all the information, where, for example, the people, they are sending goods from a fulfillment center, or they're sending goods from their supplier in whichever country, and then they need the visibility over the whole supply chain and the whole shipment volume. That's where TrackMage comes into the picture. So we literally grab the information from the carriers that they're using, and we grab the information from the third-party systems that they're using, and bridge the gap and provide this information to the customers. Because what tends to happen is that after the purchase, people don't provide a lot of communication about the package, where is it, and what exactly is happening. But that doesn't result in a good customer experience, if you know what I mean. Because I've ordered a lot of goods myself from the funnels, for example, and those guys, they don't care about anything. They just, we took your money, expect something in 2 weeks or in 2 months. We don't know. we don't care. And you cannot even reach those guys. And so the thing is, what TrackMage does is that it provides the information to the customers on autopilot without the store owner having to do anything. And when it comes to the shipment information and supply chain, it provides a lot of visibility and ability to understand where something goes wrong. For example, the supplier, and typically the Chinese suppliers, that happens very frequently, the supplier says that they ship the goods and they provide a tracking number. The tracking number doesn't actually have any information. For 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, you have to reach out to that supplier, or else your customer is going to reach out to you in 1 week and ask you like what's going on. And that's exactly what you can see in TrackMage. We have some counters that show you how long the package hasn't moved, literally, and all the other interesting information that might help you to serve the customers better. So that's the idea. And we don't really touch the goods themselves, but we integrate with a lot of carriers and a lot of suppliers that actually do a fulfillment themselves. So
yeah,
we provide
that makes
the tool.
sense. Yeah, because I mean, I use a different company. I use a company here in Canada, obviously, that I've been working with for the last few years. And I know I had once where a client emailed me and he goes, "Where's my package?" And I'm going, what happened? And it turned out that their server or their integration actually failed and wasn't sending notifications to the client. And this is the only time anyone ever asked me, because no one ever asked me in the past. So I just assumed it worked every single time. But yeah, the one time somebody asks, so then I had to manually send them the tracking number. So they didn't get the same experience they normally do of knowing where the package is and, hey, the package is going to show up, Tuesday morning or whatever, right? I mean, it's nice having that information. I know, like for me too, right? It's nice to know that someone might be home, right? Instead of actually not be at home when the package arrives, right? So there's so many different things where it's nice to have that information. Also to know that, like, if you're expecting, like sometimes you're expecting a good to come in because maybe you're a reseller and you're going to sell it, right? Or you've already sold it and you're waiting for the good to go. It's good to know when that product's going to show up. That way you can sell it, or you can plan your schedule accordingly. But yeah, I could totally see that, because I have ordered stuff from overseas and it says like 14 to 28 days and there's no tracking and it just randomly shows up one day.
Or it doesn't. Or it doesn't. If you forget about it. Yes. Yeah. And
someone else liked it more than I did.
Yeah. Well, actually, quite frankly, you're one of a few lucky ones who already had this functionality provided by your fulfillment supplier. Because in most of the cases, like for example, on Shopify or other platforms where this is not integrated into the default setup. For example, on Amazon, you get the shipment tracking because that's part of what they do. That's part of what they provide. But on other platforms like ClickFunnels or Shopify or WooCommerce or whatever, this functionality is not provided out of the box. But customers expect that same kind of service that Amazon provides. And this is literally the gap. Because people, like customers, they definitely expect some communication after the purchase takes place. And this actually presents a huge opportunity for remarketing. I have seen that a lot of e-commerce sellers, they are just like thinking hard, like what kind of special offer, what kind of discount to send to the customers to just make them buy more. The problem is, it's not what the customers expect. Sometimes they just expect a simple message about like, okay, your package is here or your package is delivered. And this is perfect opportunity to actually sell them when they are expecting something. And we've seen an interesting thing that these messages about tracking, they're not perceived as marketing. They're perceived as transactional email that doesn't provide any like this kind of gated behavior of the customer. Like, okay, well, this is a marketing email. I'm going to not even open it. But like when there is some update about the package, well, definitely they will open it. And we've discovered that some people, they check the tracking pages like 1 or 2 times per day. So that's how eager they are to understand like where the package is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And during that time, like the opportunity that TrackMage has is that we present them with special offers and other products that the shop sells. It's not like you are providing the tracking number and they go to a page provided by DHL, FedEx, or UPS or whatever. They just come back to the store and they have interaction with your brand instead of interacting with the DHL or FedEx or UPS. So
Yeah.
that's the thing. So it's almost like it comes full circle, and it does, like, this traffic doesn't leave your ecosystem; it comes back to the store without having to just check a third-party website.
Yeah, there's
So,
there's a lot of coding involved with doing all these things too, right? Like I know there's always
on our
upgrades
side,
to
yes.
UPS, DHL, all of their websites are constantly being updated and all sorts of things are getting done. So yeah, you guys always have to be doing coding. You have to be up to speed. You have to have programmers that know what they're doing to keep everything stable, right? So I
Of
mean, there's
course.
a lot of work involved with maintaining what you're talking about, right? And I don't
Yeah.
know if a lot of our listeners will understand like just how much is involved with having this going on. It's not clockwork, because I've even had with my own company, right, where I click on it to go see where the package is just because I'm curious, and the links aren't working, right? And
Yeah.
then yeah, we're in the middle of doing upgrades again, right? Like they're always doing upgrades on coding all the time, right? So
Yeah.
a lot of people forget about the little people in the background that are keeping the network and keeping the coding and all that stuff up to date, right? But
Yeah.
so let's jump into a few questions here. What was your most memorable experience as a customer, like as yourself going in somewhere, maybe buying something or eating a meal, or what's
Yeah.
something that really sticks out to you?
Yeah, well, actually, I might remember some of those experiences that I had when I was back in China. So Chinese, specifically, some of those like high-level stores on Tmall, they provide exceptional customer service. Like whatever you need, you can order something, then you realize that it's wrong size, it will be delivered to you almost the same day. Like you can just like order delivery and it's just going to be changed in one day. Another thing is that Chinese suppliers, and specifically those that are really good at this, they send you some of those small gifts that you don't expect. Like it's always included in price. We all understand that, but it's such a delight to receive like impeccable packaging, impeccable products, and plus some additional things you don't expect. So it's always about exceeding the expectation. And every time, like when I was ordering some shoes or some, I don't know, like glasses, I always was delighted to see that it was really like next level compared to everything that I've seen like in other stores. I think Chinese, they just like go above and beyond. They just have this capability. Like it helps that they have like the cheapest suppliers in the world, but still, this is the attention to detail when it comes to Chinese suppliers, specifically the retail suppliers, like it's next level. They understand the value of the customer. They understand that it's not a like transaction, it's a relationship. They always invest upfront. So like I really admire that about the customer experience that I had there. Like, and in the restaurants, it also shows because like it's always upfront, like value delivery. And then only then there is some kind of payment in the end, but they don't really mind, and it's very like it definitely lets you feel different about yourself. Like it definitely shows that they value every customer, and that's the thing that I really loved about being in China and experiencing those like high level customer service.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've ever really gotten free gifts or something like that when I've ordered from them, but I mean, I don't really order too often from China, and I've never lived in China, I guess,
Yeah.
right? So it's a total different experience when you live within that community, right? Or
So
that
you're talking
nation.
about AliExpress or something like that, right? So the expert,
Yeah, because if you're
websites,
shipping
right?
internationally, then they have to claim the items that are inside there, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
then, yeah, so then it's not much of a surprise when it shows up, right? So, but
yeah.
yeah, no,
Right.
I totally understand that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, a lot of things that that we get talked about in our networking group is about like value add, right? So we talk about adding value to the sale, and it doesn't always have to be something that's free. You know, like it doesn't have to
Yeah.
be an item. Sometimes it just has to be that you're willing to do something extra, right?
Yeah.
Or you know, give them something like maybe you're sending them a promotional video of how the item works, right? Or something different that no one else is really doing, right? Like could be a video of me saying, hey, you know, I'm glad that you ordered this fidget spinner. Have you seen that if you do this and this and that, it's really cool, and you know, have yourself a great day, right? And now I'm like, oh, I didn't know it did that. I was just going to use it for this, you know, to chop lettuce or something. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up right now.
Well, this is actually a very good example, because if you're selling, for example, if you're selling some cutlery, or you're selling some supplies for like kitchen supplies, why not include a receipt book? Why not include some like chef TV show episode where this tool was used, or something like that? Because that also creates this delightful experience for the customer, where they don't have to think about how to apply the thing that they ordered. They just literally take it and say like, oh yeah, I can do that as well. That's just,
Yeah,
I
because
mean,
there's so many things that people don't realize. Like, oh, I could use it for that. I didn't even realize that I could use it for that. It has
yeah.
that purpose. But so when you look around at the world today, what has stood out to you as the biggest change in how we interact as customers?
Hmm. Well, I guess the biggest change is that people are no longer afraid of a virtual. I think COVID-19 actually changed the world for the better, because right now people trust these online stores more. They interact freely online. They even work online. Like remote work has been there way before COVID, but now it's mainstream, and I love it. Because previously it was such a hurdle to even explain, like, oh, I work from home. Like, are you a freelancer? Like, no, I literally work from home. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, a lot of people. It's funny because I go around and I go direct to people's home or business, and I talk directly to them, and I'll ask people like, you know, like, do you just work from home? Yeah. So okay, was this before COVID or because of COVID? And they're like, no, I've been working from home for like 12 years, right? Like, so you get like lots of people who are like, I've been working from home for a long time. If you think about it, like lots of real estate agents, for instance, they have an office, but they really do like 90% of their work at home, right? They have a home
Yeah.
office. Usually they
Or the
come to the
car
business
office.
office only if they're meeting like a customer, right? So if it's like, hey, we need to go sell you some homes, let's meet at the office. We'll go over the homes, boom, we're going to go out there. But the majority of their time is working from home. They're barely in that office because there's no reason for them to be in the office unless they're meeting like a customer, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely agree that it's become a little bit more mainstream, right? And I
Yeah.
know lots of people who it's funny because we have like a call every Monday with a bunch of my other guys that we have like an accountability group, and it's like they all have like virtual assistants, like every single one of them, like, oh yeah, I have like 3 virtual assistants and I have 1 virtual assistant. It's like, oh wow, well yeah, I've had them for years, right? Like years, like way before anybody was really even talking about this, right? So it's just interesting how that's how the world just keeps forming. Some people it's new, for other people it's been normal for a long time.
Yeah. Well, Tim Ferriss wrote his book, The 4 Hour Work Week, probably like 10 years ago or even more than that. And he literally explained, like when I first read it in 2006 or something like that, I didn't really understand half of the words he's been using, like, oh, the virtual assistant, the fulfillment, all of those things, they were quite foreign. Right now, I'm reading it like it's like plain vanilla, like everyone moved over to this world where you can literally just, I don't know, order an artwork on Fiverr, then go back to a fulfillment supplier, like print on demand, and now you have a T-shirt that you can sell. Like previously, it wasn't possible. And I have, like, I enjoy working with creators as businesses because when they are creating something like like cartoon series or some, I don't know, series where they are just showing up their creativity. And then they find those fascinating ways of monetizing. So even like creating plushies or creating T-shirts, mugs, whatever they want, with just their logos, their custom characters and other things. Like previously, it would have been enormously more difficult. You can reach out to Chinese suppliers or factories, and they will say like, "Oh, minimum order quantity is like 10,000 pieces." Like, who can afford that? Like, but now, like with all those print on demand on the market, it's literally a few clicks away, and you don't even pay anything up front. Like, if you sell it, they print it. That's it. Right now, the world is so much more has so much more opportunity.
Well, you can go to Alibaba or AliExpress, and you can order, one-offs. You can order 10 lot, or or 1,000 or 10,000 MOQ, right? Depending on what the minimum order quantities are, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, and it's funny because you'll and I don't know, you might get a laugh out of this, but there'll be people in Canada that they only need like say 10 of an item, and they'll order 100 because the MOQ is 100, and they'll bring in the 10 they needed, and then the other 90 they'll spend like the next year trying to sell to everybody, giving it an end to the point of where, oh, well, I guess I just needed it. Or because I know I'd hear about my suppliers telling me how, yeah, we got a new guy every week. He brought in some C-can and he's trying to sell us all the extras that he didn't use. And like my buddy's business, for instance, some guy brought in something like 1,000 floor mats for vehicles, right? He kept about 100 of them, but he's trying to flog the 900 that he has left. Right.
That's like such a frequent story, really. Because usually this is probably the mistake number one. Like if I like big number one mistake that like beginner e-commerce sellers make. Like you invest all your money into inventory, but you don't know even how to sell. Like this is literally like the number one mistake. And I have helped a lot of businesses before, like that were actually like. There was this one business that actually bought like wooden cutlery from China, and like he bought, I don't know, like a supply for maybe a couple of years. Like when he received that, like, okay, do you have any sales? Do you have any wholesalers or distributors who are interested? Like we found a way to sell it, like for liquidations and other things, but he sold it probably at the same level that he bought it. But again, it's probably the most deadly mistake, like because inventory unfortunately costs money, and if you think that it doesn't, it does. If you're storing it in some kind of like fulfillment facility, they're going to charge you for the storage. If you're storing it at home, it's also occupying space. And again, like there are expiration dates, and there are some things that literally, like the shelf life of certain products is way shorter than you expect. And then, that's a mistake that I think everyone made. I actually had a closet full of phone cases that I bought for the customer, but for the customer, like it was a different model, and we had like a whole closet of phone cases that we couldn't sell to anyone. And then that model just went on market. It was like iPhone 4 or 5, or I don't remember, but literally, like I made that mistake as well. So. Yeah, if you can avoid, please avoid, because inventory is probably the most overrated fame
I
that you've
mean,
been investing in the company.
if you had a website that was moving, I don't know, $1 million a month of whatever, right? And
Yeah.
you're like, I don't know, greatdeals.com or something like that, right? And you just keep selling stuff and you just keep bringing stuff in and people are already coming to the website, then yeah, I mean, yeah, you want to order a C can of whatever floor mats, order the C can of floor mats. And you know what? You'll probably end up selling them. But what happens is these people don't have proper infrastructure. The e-commerce website, everybody seems to think, even when I started my e-commerce website, right? I thought, hey, you start it and probably in a month or two, you're just going to start selling. It's just going to fly off the shelves. And
Yeah.
it doesn't work that way. I'm 2 years in and it still doesn't fly off the shelves, right? I mean, and anybody who thinks it takes a good solid 3 years of establishing yourself as an e-commerce brand before you start seeing consistent momentum in that space, right? And that's why most people cop out, right? And go to Amazon because Amazon already has the algorithm. Amazon already has it moving, right? But then Amazon takes so many fees from you and it's not your brand, it's Amazon's brand.
Yeah,
right?
but the unfortunate truth about Amazon is that the customers that buy from you, you don't even know their emails. You literally have no ability to market to them again, and you cannot influence. Maybe there are some workarounds where you can send in the package like some kind of flyer or send them a bonus where they can register on the website and download the bonus or something like that. There are some tools that you could use for that. But still, the majority of the customers, they're not going to stay in the funnel, and you cannot count them as your customers. They're Amazon customers. So you still have to compete against other products and against the algorithm. So, yeah. And I've seen people going around that various ways because you could become, maybe you could build some strong brand first, and then you start selling everywhere else. So people start from over various things. Like I mentioned, those creators, they invest a lot into actually creating the cartoons that people watch. And then they have 30 million subscribers. That's when the money comes, because to those 30 million subscribers, you can sell pretty much anything.
Yeah, no, that's the thing too, right? But it takes a while to also build that. And I mean, I am finding the same thing happening now where my YouTube is actually starting to gain some momentum with subscribers. I mean, I'm only at 80 some odd subscribers right now, but I mean, I think I've doubled my subscribers already in the last 28 days. So there's things that are starting to happen. I'm starting to learn different ways, but I mean, I have friends who have TikTok, they have 250,000 followers, right?
Oh my God.
And literally he makes a post and it's it goes viral almost all the time. It's crazy, right? And he just does graffiti.
Yeah.
He sells spray paint cans and stuff like that. And it'll be just him showing this is this spray paint can and this is how it works. But yeah, he has such a huge following, right? But I'm not sure how his e-commerce does. I'll probably have to ask him. I'll be interested in knowing how his e-commerce does. But yeah, it's very interesting, all these little things that you can do to build momentum for your business. But if you don't have any of that and you're starting from scratch with YouTube and you're starting from scratch with e-commerce, all of these things come together full circle. You can't just be one. You can't just be the e-com. You have to be video. You have to have blog writing. You need to have a website. You need to look genuinely authentic. And I'll be honest, every time I've ordered from any company that is not genuinely authentic, I have been burned, right? So I don't order from companies if I don't know they're authentic with a website, they're authentic with some sort of social media, authentic with, maybe a YouTube channel. I need to know that these people are real, because I've already lost hundreds of dollars of money being spent on things that I thought I was getting something, right? So
funny story. Literally 2 weeks ago, I ordered a custom printed T-shirt from a store from Germany, and they sent my package not to Bulgaria, they sent it to Belgium. How can you confuse the two? But they did.
To Belgium. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I'm just like writing to them like there is no response. Like they like total radio silence. Like I don't know what is gonna happen, but definitely it's not good customer experience.
Yeah, no, I had a really bad experience around Christmas. We ordered some stuff for the kids, and it was supposed to arrive in time for Christmas. I even paid express shipping, and it didn't even get here till like middle of January. Right. So it was brutal. On top of that, the product was not the same authenticity as the original brand, even though it's marketed as the same brand. It's not. It was definitely not even the same product. The first product broke within an hour of us opening it and taking it out of the box, and we got two of them. The second one broke within like 48 hours, and so it was complete garbage. And then we contact them. It's like a week later they respond and saying you can send it right back to China. Like, it's not even worth my time. We just smashed them and threw them out. Waste of $80. And I decided, you know what? This is the last time I order from any kind of company that has because they marketed it as being that company and they weren't that company. And that was the problem. Yeah. So I already trusted them, but they weren't that same company, and that's where I got it wrong. So whatever, you get burned, you live, you learn. And I mean, that's why I think
you order again because you just want the thing, right?
But that's a lot of reasons why people order from Amazon, because if you screw them on Amazon, they just say to Amazon, and then people are scared about getting a bad review, so they cower and they'll take it back or do whatever they need to do, right? But if you order direct from the supplier, if they don't even contact you or tell you anything, you have no control of the situation. You have no control.
Well, you do kind of, like through Twitter or our social media, you can just literally lash out at a brand. We have researched what people write when they mention like, where is my package? We've been researching that for a long time, and like literally, like there are so many curious cases where people ordered something they were not really getting information and all that. But it's very frequent that people lash out at the brands on like social media platforms, and that creates so much bad publicity that it's not worth it for the brand to literally have like that kind of scandal following the brand. So yeah, that's why, for example, in TrackMage, we gather reviews privately. So if there is a problem, you can always address it before the person posts it on social media. And if it's a positive review, we have like this share button where you can share the review and like, that creates additional traffic for the store and the product actually that they bought. So that's additional value that like is there in the plain sight. But again, if it's a negative review, never, like definitely just solve it with the customer while we're still on the platform.
Yeah, no, I always tell all my clients they can text, call, or email me. I always make it very clear that to contact me if there's any challenges. And I think any of the clients who have contacted me when there has been a challenge, I think they've been pretty blown away by the service that has come about from it. But people are. I haven't had anybody where they've lashed out on social media or anything. At least nothing that I know about. Right, because I always try and
Google your brand.
Google your brand. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I have, right. But I mean, I always try and get ahead of things, right, by being very open with them. I always follow up with every single client, right? So every single client I want to follow up with, I want to find out what's going on. And I mean, I'm not going to deny, like when I started the company, probably the first 6 months, there was lots of mistakes made. But any new business owner makes mistakes within the first 6 months, right? And but I would say the last year, it's been very solid for how I'm doing things, and things are continuously getting better. Right. But at the end of the day, I always tell my clients that, hey, if you have any challenges, reach out. I mean, I want to help them out. I want to take care of them. Right. I don't want them having challenges. I don't want them thinking negatively of the brand. Right. And that's what it's all about, is taking care of the clients at the end of the day.
Yeah. And I noticed that sometimes, I mean, with the reviews, people just put like 5 stars, 5 stars, but then they write the actual review about like, okay, it wasn't perfect. It was like far from perfect. So there needs to be some kind of layer where you literally just look for reviews and understand like, okay, yes, it's 5 stars, but the person wasn't happy. Again, it's probably easier if you just maintain constant contact with the customer like throughout the whole journey without like leaving them too long to their own devices. Because if you maintain this communication and openly address all the issues, usually people are very forgiving of anything that could go wrong. And I really like how customers respond if, for example, there was this issue once at a company that we work with. So they accidentally, their conversion didn't work correctly. And they charged only 1/10 of the order value in USD. So it's almost like, like translated into nothing. So we charge you $1, the actual amount that you were supposed to pay is 40. We reached out to all those customers who paid and who encountered that issue and asked them like, please, can you please just pay the rest of it? The majority responded like, yes, of course, like, I'm really sorry, but we haven't paid the full amount. Like, if that's not an indication that people are generally very good-natured, I think, I don't know what is. Because like literally we charged them incorrectly. They could have kept the product and just said like, okay, that's fine, like $1. That's your mistake. Yes, but they did. They paid and they supported the brand and they were very compassionate and they were working with us and they were even thrilled that we reached out to them. So that's interesting.
Nice. So is there a book you've read that has influenced your life?
Yeah, well, this is probably more of an abstract question because my favorite book, and that actually influenced my life, is the Jonathan Livingston Seagull. It's all about the freedom and just becoming the best version of yourself and showing other people like how free they can be. So I dedicated most of my life, like throughout all the things that I do and all the things that like I get involved with, to free people and show them that there are opportunities. Because sometimes I work with people like one-on-one or just they are my customers and we still talk about life in general. And I noticed that people are just like narrowly viewing the path that is forged before them. Like, oh, I live in this city, I go to this job, this is how much I earn. Like, there is no other way for me. And then I say like, but there is so many things you could do. Like, oh, do you want to travel? How about you do? Do you want to start a business? How about you do? Like, the opportunities are always there, but people just, for some reason, out of habit, out of preconditioning, beliefs, whatever, they just miss those opportunities. And I dedicated all the services and all of my life's work to just giving people that opportunity to really do what matters. Instead of like how my journey started with TrackMage as well, when we were packaging the goods in China, that wasn't the ideal life of my choosing. I literally hated packaging goods like every day and like going to the cargo to send it. So that was far from ideal. So then we created the system that actually frees people from the routine. So that like, okay, the routine is automatically happening and you just do all the things that you enjoy. And especially for creators, we have this kind of like, okay, you create art, you focus on art, or you, as a marketer, for example, like you will focus on marketing. All the hard stuff, all the like operations and management, like supply chain, all that happens automatically, or at least semi-automatically. So that it's like the freedom. It's still about the freedom. And people have trouble sometimes to just free themselves from the routine. I remember when we were traveling to Hong Kong and back, that was the only time, like every 3 months in China, you have to travel to Hong Kong to renew a visa. and we were traveling, and that was the only time when we just stepped out of the business and could look at the like big picture and where we are going, like what are we doing.
Yeah.
But like for around 3 months, it was like total like routine all the time, like routine. So definitely, like if there is one thing that I could say to all the listeners here is that like take a break sometimes. Just like get out of your business, like look at the 360 degrees view of your life and just like understand like what am I doing now? Is that the most important thing that I can be doing? And then just come back and do the rest, but just still keeping in mind like that there is a purpose to all of this, and you have choice. It's not like you have to just do all the things that you do because you always did. You can always change your life.
Yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense for sure. If there's one thing you could change in the entire world today, what would it be and why?
Well, actually, I kind of already answered that question. So if I could literally just somehow help people realize that they are not limited with their circumstances, that they have a choice, and they don't have to do something just because they are at this specific point in time and the space. They have the choice, like we always have a choice. If there would have been a device, I don't know, like, or some kind of book that actually just produces the same results for every person. They can just open it and they understand, like, okay, yes, I have a choice, I have a freedom, and they start acting that way. So I think that would have changed a lot of things for people, because sometimes we just say like, okay, that's just my circumstances. That's my family, my country, my something told me to do. So you always have to make the choice in the end.
Yeah, it makes sense. So, yeah, do you have any final closing remarks or anything for everybody?
Yeah, well, it was really, really great talking to you about all the various things of like of different nature, and how the customer experience is like everywhere when we interact with brands and just interact between one another. So like the closing remarks, like I haven't I haven't really thought about that, but still if you had to listen to all the things that we've said today, just remember, like, you have a choice. It was your choice to listen to this podcast, and it's your choice if you're going to take some of those ideas and implement them in your business. So definitely, like, there are things that could be better, and you can definitely implement right now. So do it, and let's see what happens.
Yeah, just like Irina said here is, you know what? You need to take action, right? So many people keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, and they're expecting different results. I continuously am evolving and changing how I'm interacting with my customers in my business, because I'm continuously trying to upgrade my customer experience to all my clients on a consistent basis, right? So if you are just still doing the same thing that you did 10 years ago, and you're not trying to find new ways to interact or talk with them, you're not really getting ahead, right? And if you still think that you give the best customer service because you just give the best customer service because that's what you feel, think about, you need to go and maybe go experience like a really high-end restaurant or high-end hotel, right? Go to these places and see what their customer experience is like. Think about what you liked when you went to them, and then just think about, are you delivering anything comparable in experience, right? What did you like about that you could take to your own business, right? And I think a lot of people get really hung up on the fact that they're, like, I have a friend, he always says, well, people shop with me because I give the best customer service. I'm like, but why do you give the best customer service? Because I do. I always give them the best price. I said, okay. I said, so how is it giving the best price is best service? Because you know what? people say you get what you pay for. So if you're giving the best price, that means you're losing something, right? That means you're not getting maybe good service, or you're not getting something else. So a lot of people are getting this mismanaged on terms of what is good customer experience, what is good customer service, right? They think just because they have the lowest price that they're giving people good service. But really, there's so many other things involved with that, right? And, like when I emailed that customer and they said they never got the tracking information, I immediately, within an hour, said, sorry about that. And I sent them the tracking information and asked them if they hadn't received any emails so that I could contact my fulfillment supplier to find out what had happened, right? But now think about this the other way. Now think about that email came through and I said, like, come on now. I'm not responding to this because my fulfillment already sends it. Now this customer gets sour. Now this customer thinks that I haven't sent the product, assumes that there's no communication. And then what ends up happening is my whole customer experience starts unraveling because I'm assuming that's something else. And this might sound negative, but, assume that nobody did their job, because if everything was to break tomorrow and a customer contacts you, you have to assume everything broke and then work yourself backwards to find out what went wrong. And when you find out what's wrong, that's the only way you can actually fix it or take care of it, right? And that's how you continuously have to move forward. And I talk a lot about continuous improvement or continuously learning. If you're open to continuously learning, that to me is a big step in moving forward with your company and providing a positive customer experience. Because if you are learning from your customers, they are saying something to you. Yeah. So, would you agree or have anything to add?
I have, definitely I do. That practice of constantly improving the process and constantly improving the customer service or altogether, like the whole chain of serving the customer, like from the sale to the final review. So the thing is, you could apply some frameworks to that. And there is a framework that I think fits well for e-commerce businesses is Lean Six Sigma. In Lean Six Sigma, you have this process called Kaizen. And Kaizen literally translates into continuous improvement. So every time you ship a batch and you see how it behaves, how your customers are experiencing it, what kind of reviews they're leaving. And all the time, stop, inspect it, see how it went, what you could improve, and the next time do it better. If you continuously start doing all those small things better, in the end you will have the greatest customer experience. Just don't assume that it's always there. Just give it some iterative experience where you literally just you do it once and then you see how it goes and then you inspect and then you adapt. Again, the world is such a wonderful changing place where you can never be sure that something that happened yesterday is going to happen tomorrow the same way. That's why you have to adapt all the time. And Kaizen is probably the best practice you could apply to your business if you want to constantly improve.
Makes sense. Yeah. So that's it. That's the show. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for listening to the Focus on Customer Experience podcast. Be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss an episode. For more information or to connect with Ben, check out Benjamin Del Grosso on LinkedIn, at Safe Drive Solutions on Instagram, or www.safedrivesolutions.ca online. We'll see you next time.